Okay, let's talk about this. Today is a contest review. We have 179 entries into the contest, and our goal is to pretend that this is not a contest, but rather we pretend that this is an actual job. And we pretend that we are in the casting department, and our job is to find or select a voice actor to record. All you know is it's a typical day. You go to work, and the first client says, "Yeah, we need to select a voice actor," and you have 179 entries to listen to, auditions to listen to, and they say your boss says after that you have this commercial to cast, and after that a documentary to cast, and you realize you have 10 jobs to cast that day. Those jobs each have 100 or 200 different auditions. You quickly do the math and you think, goodness gracious, I have 1,000 or 2,000 auditions to listen to today. And you realize, well, you better start going pretty quickly because the boss is saying, come on, come on, come on, come on. And the client's saying, come on, come on, come on. And everyone is saying, come on, come on, come on. So that is what we do today. And the purpose of this is so you can see the casting process from my side. I'm not a voice actor, for those of you who don't know. I own the studios. We have 5 rooms in New York City, and we record. And all day long, we cast. And all day long, our clients are saying, come on, come on, come on. Seriously, they are. We are pushed. We are pushed through jobs faster and faster every day. That is something that I think all of us face in just about every industry these days. Things move fast and clients move fast. So when we have 10 auditions or 100 auditions or 1,000 auditions, we go fast. And so what does that mean for the voice actors who have auditioned? Do my team, do we hear the end of your audition, or do we only hear the first second? Well, we're going to find out. We're going to simulate going through 179 auditions, even though today it's for a contest. I'm just letting a few more people in here, by the way, which is why I keep looking away from you and at my screen. Your goal, the outcome today should be for you to look at this industry very differently. Seriously, differently. I have lectured at nauseam at just telling people, voice actors, that you should never record auditions to the point that you like them. You should always record your auditions so the clients will like them. You need to you need to figure out what the clients want, or take your best guess. What's it called? A swag, right? Something like single wild ass guess. Is that a swag? Anyone know?
I'm used to stuff we all get, but that's
Stuff
something
we
different.
all get. Okay, maybe someone can look up swag. I think it means like a seriously wild ass guess. Check out that acronym and stick it in the chat or something, or speak out. And so you need to take your swag or break down the script. Do whatever you can so you can figure out what the client wants. You should never ever record your audition and say, "Oh, I really like what I did." You should always think, "Wow, will the client like what I did?" And that's what we focus on today. As we go down, I'm looking at the chat here, sorry. I'm interrupting myself. How far down the line of production is the average for the VO to get cast? How far down the line of production is the average for the VO to get cast? I don't really understand that question, so if you want to speak up, let me know. Um, so many people are late. Everyone should be early. Okay. My internet barely worked and I was on time. Okay. So, and who is it? Trish, you took 6 times to get on and you were on time. You rock in my world. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh, Here it is, swag. Either stuff we all get or seriously wild ass guess. Yeah, well, that was a swag upon a swag of a swag. Okay. As we go through, I want all of you to participate in the casting process. I really want you to pretend that you are just having a day at work and you are not the voice actor. You're the person who has to select the voice actor. And you know you have a busy day and 2,000 auditions to get through, and you just want to get your job done. The client just wants you to get it done. So as we listen to each of the 179 auditions, the moment you hear something, I want you to call it out. Typically being either call out move on because you don't like this one, or save it, shortlist it because you possibly would choose that one. Everyone got that? Now, you can call out delete or move on, or you could call out S for save or shortlist or, whatever. I may go a bit further and talk just a bit about it. When I hear something interesting, when I hear something that might be educational, I will take just a moment to talk about it. With 179 auditions, we have to move fast. I hope that we can get through each one in about 20 seconds on average. That includes me opening up the file. If we can get through each one in 20 seconds, that is exactly 1 hour, right? 180 auditions, 3 a minute. We'll do 1 hour. This will be a long hour. I'm telling you, it will get boring at some point. And that's a good thing because now you will understand what the people who are listening to your audition go through. Hopefully, at 30 minutes or 45 minutes into this process, something is going to resonate with you. Someone's read is going to stand out. It's going to perk up your ears, and you'll say, "Oh, wow, that one's kind of different. I like that one. Well, let me listen to that full thing." Whereas all the previous ones, you listen to a second. This one, you say, "Man, I want to hear that thing again. I think I like that. I really like that." That's what you all want to get to. So along the way, we may have a few of those. I hope we have a few of those along the way because we need to pick someone to win first, second, and third place. I do not want any of you to see anyone's names. So we have told voice actors to not slate their names on this audition. Also, this audition, the simulated audition, we have open to all types of voices, all ages, all accents, all languages, all types of speakers, high pitch, low pitch, whatever. If someone has a thick accent, that doesn't work for or against them. If their voice is incredibly high and squeaky, that doesn't work for or against them. We're not focused tonight at all on voice type. This is exclusively on audio quality and performance. Okay. Any questions? No questions? Jeez. Let me make sure my microphone is on. Hang on. Okay. Yes, Robert, I see your hand up.
Yeah, I'm just wondering that one of the criterions would be how appropriate is the voice for the spot.
Yeah, but we're not focused on that today. We
Okay.
are focused on the emotion. Yeah. So if we're casting a real spot, then we would say we are looking for someone with a hard sell voice or an easy voice or a breathy voice. But if we did that in a contest, then only a select group of voice actors could participate in the contest. So we open the contest to everyone. So let me show you what the contest looked like. I'm going to share my screen. And this was the contest. It's called ConocoPhillips. It's a 15-second spot. Here's the script. I'm going to make this a bit larger for myself. Hopefully that is okay for all of you. And we told voice actors it's a simulated audition. Right here, we're open to all gender, ages, accents, and so on. What's important to us is that the voice actor has an interesting and unique way of reading. That's what we're looking for. So if you listen to a voice actor as we go through these 179 auditions and you think someone performs well, but it is not at all unique, it is not interesting, well, then we're not interested in it. That's one we just delete. Beautiful read, but if it's not interesting, we move on because that is not what this particular client, this simulated client wants. You need to remember that, okay? We don't want funny. We don't want silly. Let me go back and pick up because I missed part of the previous paragraph. We want something different than the usual professional and corporate read. A style that stands out, something recognizable. Getting back to the next paragraph, we don't want announcers. We don't want character voices. We want a real person who can give our spot an interesting spin. We want listeners to immediately associate the voice of ConocoPhillips. So focus your audition on the way you speak, not your voice. Okay. Any questions on any of that? If it is helpful, take a screenshot of this if you don't already know the script. Because actually, I can keep this up the whole time. Let me pause my screen. Okay. So we're going to start. What I'd like to do is take the first audition. Oh, and by the way, let me interrupt myself again and say that the way I play the auditions is in the order in which they came into our system. And I don't know if this was last left on the first contest entry that was submitted 3 months ago or the last one, but this is the sequence. And they're not alphabetized. The auditions are not in any, I don't know, like our favorites first. I haven't heard any of these. I heard a bit of one just to make sure my system was playing. Like I heard like 3 seconds of the first one, and that's all I've heard. So this will be just as fun for me as it will be for you. Hopefully, it's fun. Okay. There have been so few questions. I feel like asking one more time. Does everyone understand the goal of this, the purpose? Everyone have it?
There is a
Okay.
question in the chat.
Oh, can someone read it to me, please?
How do you know if it's a real voiceover or not?
As opposed to
Oh,
AI?
I think that's what the point is. Yeah.
Sometimes it's really hard to tell. Some of the voices out there, the AI voices, are amazing, and I love technology, and I am truly fascinated by how amazing AI is. I was listening to a song this morning. I don't know if any of you know the group New Order. My wife and I were walking early in the morning listening to New Order, group from like the 80s. And the drum sounds are really electronic. And I was thinking, drums, like, well, you and I, all of us, like, are worried about AI voices, but drum machines have been in songs for all of these years. Drummers should be worrying. I'm a drummer. I should be worrying about drum machines being used in songs. And it happens. This world has found a wonderful balance of drum machines and drummers, and drummers still have drum machines. And so I think we're finding a wonderful world of AI voices and human voices. The reason why we still use so many human voices, or human voice actors, that is because we can direct them. We can't, we have not found a way, I don't think anyone has found a way to really direct an AI voice. You kind of get what you get. It could be great, but you can't direct it. And all of our clients come in and do the directing thing. They tell the voice actor, slow down on this word, add a little pinch of humor on that word. And that, as far as I can tell, can't be done with AI yet, or at least not
Yes.
easy.
We're
It
going
takes
to
a
be
long
talking
time.
about to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips. ConocoPhillips.
Hey, whoever's reading, great voice, but just mute your mic, please.
Sorry.
No worries. No worries. No worries at all. Yeah. Um, so can you tell if it's an AI voice? Probably not. If it's a decent AI voice, probably not. However, if we hired that person, we'd find out soon when they can't take direction. So, I don't think they'd get very far. And I will tell you, our production department is up a lot this year. We're busier than we've been. We've been slammed in production. There are still clients hiring human voice actors. So there is still, I wouldn't say light at the end of the tunnel. There's still light. The tunnel is changing. I feel like there's two tunnels now, but there's still there's still work out there. Okay, let's get to this thing. So I'd like to play the first 3 seconds of the first audition and then stop. And I want all of you to tell me if you can hear it okay. I don't feel like going through 179 auditions for everyone to say, couldn't hear a thing. So let's just check the first one, make sure it works. Okay, I'm in my screen now where I have the auditions. Here is a bit of the first one.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only
Are you all able to hear that?
Soft.
No.
Yes, but it's
No.
kind of quiet.
Very
Sounds like
low.
it's in the background.
Low.
Like we're hearing it through your mic, not through the system.
Oh, that's interesting. I wonder when I hit pause on my screen so you can see the script, if that stops the audio from coming in. It used to not be the way, and I tested this before we got on. I'm going to hit stop share. And I'm going to share just sound. Let's see what happens like that. I want to not share the back end of our contest because then you'll see everyone's name, and I don't want to expose anyone's name. Okay. Can you tell me what you see on your screen right now?
You.
Yeah,
I
we
see.
see you.
Yeah, it's just
Sure.
the meeting.
Okay,
I'm on
good.
gallery.
Do you still just see me?
No, attendees.
I'm on gallery, so I see everyone.
Okay, but you don't see the audio. Okay,
No.
that's great. It
Cannot
worked.
see your screen.
That's awesome. Okay, yay. Okay, you can't see anyone's name. Tell me if you hear this. I'll play 3 seconds again.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new
Yes.
Yeah, that's way better.
Yes.
Cool. Okay.
Better.
Okay. So we're gonna go through. You ready? Just seconds. Let's play this first one all the way through. Let's talk about it, and then starting on the second audition, we'll do the like 2 seconds and save it or delete and move on. So let's just play the first one all the way through. Here goes.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips. At ConocoPhillips,
Oh,
we're
sorry.
not
Sorry. Okay. What are your thoughts, real fast?
I thought it was pretty good. Save
Nice
it.
read. I don't know how unique it is.
Yeah, it's not unique. I think the guy has a great voice. He's a little slurry. He came in at 13 seconds. It's supposed to be a 15-second. That's okay. If it was much slower, I'd be concerned. But coming in at 13 seconds is okay, unless the client says we need it to be exactly 15. I'm good with the timing. A little slurry, but yeah, not unique. That's not really a recognizable voice. Remember that was stressed in the instructions, and then we read that back. We talked about that. Anyone, do you think that is unique? Let me play just a few seconds again. Is it unique? Is it really recognizable? Is it a voice that's going to stand out?
only finding new sources of natural gas.
No.
I don't think it's unique, and that's actually one of my questions about how do I make something unique.
Well, that's another class.
Yeah, no, I understand that.
Yes.
I'm saying that that is the big question here. It's like there's
Hey,
the
well,
announcer.
we're
Yeah,
I would
Okay.
be willing to bet along the way we come across some people who just made it unique. I hope so. If not, we would have a round 2 audition. Here's a client here's the client who's so clear about saying, we want something recognizable, something unique, not sales, not character, not something weird, but something interesting, something different. And this guy has a great voice. Maybe he's out in our crowd. Maybe he's listening to some other time. Lovely voice, a little slurry, but it's not unique. So as far as I'm concerned, we just delete and move on. Okay, we're going to go through all of these much faster now. Everyone ready? Okay, I can't see anyone. So if you're giving thumbs up or anything, I can't see anymore. So you have to kind of
Ready.
talk out.
Ready.
Okay. I also do want to quickly check and see if I need to let anyone into the meeting. Let me check that right now. Yes, I have one person to let in. Okay. Okay. Here we go.
At ConocoPhillips, we are not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Very
You
clicky.
mispronounced the company name.
Well, that could be the echo. Wait, I'm sorry. What did you say about the company name?
It's ConocoPhillips, not ConocoPhillips, so she mispronounced.
Well, but she has an accent and she may be international. But I don't like the quality of the audio. It's echoey and clicky. Can't use that. So we're moving on. Here's third person.
At ConocoPhillips.
Okay, so it starts with a big 6-second space. I wanted to hit pause before we got to that, but then I heard this big breath. That was odd. It was very odd. And as I look at this file is 5 minutes and 45 seconds long.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Out.
she's out because technologically she is not there. Moving on to the next person here.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not.
Mispronounced the client name. We move right on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Choppy. Nothing unique, right? Nothing unique at all. We're moving on.
At ConocoPhillips.
Echoey and hiss. I don't know if you can hear the hiss coming through, but trust me, there's hiss in that recording. The level is a little low. There's quite a bit of hiss in the background. Already, I hope you're like thinking, oh, wow, I'm getting it. This is what happens. You know, I used to feel bad sometimes thinking like 100 people auditioned and I'm just deleting, but this is what we go through. We're trying to find someone who pronounces the name of the company correctly, who has good audio quality. How can you submit an audition with bad audio quality? I understand that this is a contest and that's fine, but this is a way people can learn. And we're looking for unique, and someone has to have it. So let's keep going through. Any questions so far? We've gone through 5 or 6. Any questions?
No.
Okay. Okay. Next. Blank. 4
No
seconds.
audio.
5 seconds. Oh, there it is.
Phillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural.
It's not interesting. There's 5 seconds of blank. That scares me. Moving on.
Son, 2 takes. Take 1. At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural.
I don't believe our instruction said not to have 2 takes. Sometimes we say that. I don't remember if we did or not. I'm going to look back at that real fast right now. I'm looking. We did not say you need to only give one take. So let me go back to this. Let's play again the first few seconds of the first and then the few seconds of the second. But here's a question. Could anyone understand what he said in the beginning?
No.
Yes.
I missed it.
No, I didn't get it.
I did not understand it. Who thinks he knew what he said in the beginning?
I heard the name deleted and then 2 takes and then at Conoco before
Okay.
it cut off.
Let's listen to the beginning. There's a reason I'm focusing on this for a second. Listen to the beginning again.
Son, 2 takes. Take.
What was the first word?
Oh, Ian, his name. Ian Song.
Okay. It's fast. It's tough to hear the first time. When you audition, some of you have heard me say this, by the way, when you audition, if you get the chance to say your name, say it clearly. Oh my goodness, you have one chance to brand yourself. Why take the one chance and mush your first and last name together and say it quickly? It takes our ears just a moment to kind of establish a new connection to a new voice. Like when the voice begins, we can't quite understand it at first. We need a moment. So if you go fast on that first word, you can very often lose that first word. The listener will lose that first word. And if the first word is your name, no less, make that stand out. So that concerns me. Let's listen to a first few seconds of each of his 2 takes.
1. At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
It's a little choppy, and I'm not sure I like how he pronounced the business name. I'm jumping about halfway through here. Let's hear what the second half is.
We're developing new.
I think I went a little... Oh. Trying to get to the middle point. Let's see.
New technologies to solve the demanding
This is the end of take 1 here.
increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips, ConocoPhillips, ConocoPhillips. Take.
Okay. Way over 15 seconds. Even without the 3 takes at the end, is way past 15 seconds. That concerns me. And we're just going to move on. Good voice. Interesting accent. I'm not sure exactly where that accent is from. Sounds like a mixture of a few things in my head. Let's move on.
Hi, this is Amospo Su.
The hi thing, just waste our time. I'm really tempted to move on. And now hopefully all of you are thinking, come on with the hi. If we had 10 people today say, hi, this is David Goldberg. I have 2 takes. You'd be thinking, oh my goodness gracious, just get to the audition already. Yeah, you don't need to do that stuff. And his level is low, which concerns me already. I don't think the level is high enough for us to even hire him.
Reading.
Oh yeah, it's too low. It can't even do it. Okay, and then he was talking about I'll be reading or something. I'm not sure. We're moving on.
Ouch.
Here at ConocoPhillips.
Did someone on our call say ouch, or was that the beginning of the recording?
That was me.
Oh, okay.
I was ouch about the last person.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if that was on this next recording. Okay. Okay, let me hit play again because there was a few. I'm hitting play right now, and there's silence here. 2 seconds, 3, 4. I'd hit stop by now.
Here
5.
at Conoco,
So she starts at 5 seconds. Not good. You waste time. Everyone have a quarter of a second at the beginning. That's it. Here's why you have a quarter of a second. Sometimes audio players take just a moment to get going. So don't start at 0. But if you wait 5 seconds, that's way too much time. Even a second is kind of a long time. Quarter a second, maybe a half of a second. That's all you need at the top.
Phillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
This is not interesting. And when I say these things are not interesting, they may be great reads, great voices, but they're not interesting, and that's what we're looking for.
She mispronounced the name too.
Did you? Oh, yeah.
She said
How many-
ConocoPhillips.
Okay, how many people have mispronounced the name so far? 4, would you say? Out of maybe 15?
Yeah, I would want to say it was a little bit more in my
Yeah,
opinion.
I always look up words that I don't know how to pronounce. I mean, why?
Awesome.
Just take
The only defense I have for one of them is that I had a friend who used to call it Amoco instead of Amico, and that might be because of where he was from.
Yeah, well, that happens. The first one that was, I think it was the second audition. The first person who spoke said it differently. I said that could be wherever they're from. It could be how they say it there. Yeah.
You said Conoco.
Yes. So it is very, very possible that it is said differently in different parts of the world. So we do have to take that into consideration.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
It's not interesting. It's not recognizable. Let's move on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Also not interesting. If anyone feels otherwise, I beg you to speak up. I want some of you to say, you know what? No. Can I hear more of that? Totally fine. If there's something you can learn by listening to more of it, let's do it. Okay, I'm moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
And we're hearing some nice voices, good reads, but nothing is really different. That was stressed in the directions.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of...
No.
I think it's lost.
Boring.
I'm sorry, what?
Boring.
Nice but not different.
Nice but not different. Boring but not different. Whichever. Yeah. Either way.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not...
The level is way too low.
So quiet.
Wow.
Yeah. It's here. Listen really carefully. Can you squint your ears?
Only finding new sources of natural gas.
Like it's there, but it's too low. Like we can't hire that. Okay, we move
sounds
on.
like she's whispering.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding...
In contrast, this one is really loud. It's. I want to listen again and see if it's actually distorted. Like if is it too loud or is it okay? Let's listen. The timer here is showing me 16 seconds, so she may be a bit over. Also, there could be a moment of blank space at the end. If something is 16 seconds and we're looking to cast to 15, that's okay. Like we can always deal with that.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what next. ConocoPhillips.
So she is just at the 15.9 mark. It's one of the better reads in terms of clarity. I mean, it's really loud. It's probably a little too high. And I wouldn't say it's would anyone out there say it's recognizable or different or unique, or is it bordering there?
It's a different kind of voice, but this one, just like a lot of them, it just sounds like reading.
Any other thoughts on this? I want to hear some thoughts. Come on, all of you are casting. You're all working.
It's nice, but I don't really hear it's being so outstandingly different.
Yeah,
I turn my head and say, what was that? Who's doing that? We'll listen to that.
It is a really interesting voice, though, that last one.
Yeah, I would agree that the voice is interesting, particularly an oil and gas company. If they chose an elderly British voiced accent, I would find that that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I wrote down this person's number. Our auditions are by numbers here. And so I have that person's number down. So when we eventually choose first, second, third, maybe they will be a contender. So at this point, I'd say we can shortlist that person. I'm not jumping to say we found our person. However, we found someone who potentially could be the person. Okay, let's move on.
Question though, David.
Yes.
So if I were the client though, if I was with ConocoPhillips and I'm at the age where I'm, on the elderly side, I would, this is like future innovative, future thinking, forward thinking, innovative messaging. And would I want an elderly person representing that? Or is the purpose of this recording, like if we're pretending to be casting?
Hang on. Let me stop you there. I'm thinking you came in late. We talked a lot
No,
about this. Oh, we talked a lot about that. For this contest, we're letting all ages in. Unless you're just asking just to learn more about the client needs. But for this contest,
yes,
we're letting
the
everyone
latter,
in.
the latter, sorry.
Okay.
Okay, for the latter.
Okay, everyone is involved. Everyone can join this contest. For 99% of auditions, the client says we're looking for a male or a female or gender neutral. We're looking for a young and old. Typically the client will have some kind of idea of the voice that they want. Occasionally, really occasionally, we've had voice actors say, rather clients say, anyone. We want anyone. We'll know it when we hear it, kind of thing. But usually there's some direction. But we want everyone to participate in this contest. So we are not going
that's
after.
true. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. This
I
contest
did hear
is
that.
based.
I'm just trying to. Okay, got it.
That's okay. Yeah. So yeah, we're focused on audio quality and performance.
David, I have a one.
Yes.
For me, it sounded like the editing would seem to be a little choppy. So it didn't seem to be smooth.
Yeah. It was good ears. Yeah. One of the sentences really kind of like was cut too close. It was chopped too close. Yeah. Yeah. How many of you noticed that?
I noticed it.
Good. Yeah, you all should have noticed that. Yeah. And that's something that she could have so easily fixed. Even if she just dropped a crossfade on that spot or left like a smidge more time. Now, she may have been thinking, well, I'm already at 16. I need to cut off a little bit of time here and there. But that was a bad edit. However, if we're hiring her, we'll be doing the editing on our side. So it probably is not a concern. As long as she doesn't chop off the end of a word. As long as the whole word is there, we can deal with it. Okay, moving on here.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources.
I don't like separating the client name. I don't think that's appropriate. Now, it's possible the client would say we want the name separated for some reason. But also, I don't think that it's interesting, unique, or different. And for those of you, I'm sorry?
The volume was low.
Yeah, the level is definitely a bit low. And for those of you who joined, we are looking for a voice that is, the directions said unique and recognizable. That is what we're seeking. Moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding
It's interesting.
It is interesting.
That's kind of recognizable. Very articulate. Audio quality sounds good. Interesting.
Super long vowels.
Yeah. Thank you. I couldn't quite
like an Irish accent.
Yeah. A bit of an Irish or something that has a lilt to it.
But yeah, because even the client name went up at the end, which was a little weird. But let's listen.
It's nicely head turning.
It is. Let's listen one more time.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Nice.
I like it. I mean, it's different.
There was something weird in the middle with how what his choices were. But I mean, I guess that is unique and different. So
yeah, it is. That's exactly it. So let's move on here. Okay, here's the next one.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not
good audio
too
quality.
Echoey.
Yeah, it's not even echoey. That's more room sound we're hearing at that point. Yeah.
At ConocoPhillips.
Name is so fast. Huh. Like if that had music in the background, it would be impossible to hear. If we didn't know what this audition was, we wouldn't hear it. We wouldn't
Yep.
understand that even without music.
We're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
Kind of a different voice. Let's listen to this whole thing one time. Let's go back to the beginning.
At ConocoPhillips,
Fastest word is the client name. Why do so many people do that on auditions every single day? I hear voice actors where the fastest words are their own name in a slate and the client name in the script. Always the fastest word. Interestingly, those are the words that should be the slowest. So they stand out. Let's listen.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Quality's really good.
I like the voice, except that you're correct that on both times, front and back, she sped through ConocoPhillips.
Yeah, more so on the first one. And that's the first thing we hear, our first impression. Let's move on. I wrote her number down, by the way.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
A little interesting, but it's also a little stilted sounding. So I'm going to move on from him. Moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources.
Not interesting.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources
I think there's some echo in here.
of natural gas, we're developing new technology.
Yeah, it's a little slurry, nothing interesting, little echoey.
At ConocoPhillips.
Oh. I think that person may have two up. Oh, yeah, he is. Oh, yeah, there are two from him. That's why they said it the same. He may have uploaded it twice. Here's the next person.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Certainly unique.
That's different.
It's
Certainly
unique.
definitely
Yes,
different.
that's unique.
Was it low? Were the levels low on that?
Yeah, it's a little low. It's definitely not horrible. I wrote that one down. It's interesting. This is how we develop our shortlist. Okay, let's keep going through here.
At ConocoPhillips.
Oh, there's some noise there, or is that someone on our call? Let me play the beginning again.
At ConocoPhillips.
Yeah, first thing is a mouth opening. It's not a nice way to begin. If you're listening on headphones and you hear the inside of someone's mouth, is that really your first impression you want? You may as well burp at that point, right? You know, like why do we have to hear the inside of your mouth?
Phillips, we're not only finding new sources.
Yeah, nothing interesting. Nothing stands out there. Moving on. This one is... Nope.
At
there it goes.
ConocoPhillips, we're not.
Very noisy. I don't think the noise will come through Zoom. Because Zoom has a lot of algorithms now that hides noise. It suppresses it, so you don't hear the noise, but that one was very noisy.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new.
I think we have a pronunciation issue. I don't hear an accent, so I'm thinking that that's just a mispronunciation of the name. Moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next.
It's almost different. What do you all think?
Yeah, I
agree.
so much
Almost.
more youthful.
It's nice. It's a little.
We're not going by youthful. Whoever said it's youthful, you can talk about the word youthful in terms of spirit, but not in terms of age, because whether someone is 1 year old or 100 years old, they can participate in this contest. What about the read?
It just fell flat.
Great, but the volume was low.
Volume's definitely low. Yeah, it was borderline, but we have 4 shortlisted already, so we're going to move on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources.
A little too choppy to my ears.
Yep.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing.
This is interesting. It's quite a bit stilted actually sounding, but it almost sounds like that was intentional. I'd like to listen to a bit more.
New technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next.
So she's definitely finding a unique style, but to my ears is just too choppy.
Yeah.
So I'd move on from that one.
Hi, my name is Ralph Duke.
Oh, you've got to hate that now by now, right? Yeah, I'm gonna just stop it and move on before we get the person's whole name anyway. Moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we are not only finding new sources of
Lots of echo on that one. Okay.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
There's some big slurs in there, so I'm going to move right on. The person who said their name, I don't know how I may go back and listen to that on my own. I just don't want to play it back, so I don't want anyone to hear the person's name. We already heard one person's name, and I want to skip that if possible, so I will listen to that solo before I ultimately decide first, second, and third. Okay, we are moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only
Not interesting. If anyone hears something that you like, let me know. Otherwise,
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding
noisy. If you hear something you like or want to hear more of, please let me know. If you hear something you have a question about, say stop, and I'll let's talk about it. Otherwise, at this point, I'm going to crank through these. I'm hoping now that since we've gone through, I don't know, 30, 40, 50 of these, you have a good sense of what we go through when we cast. So now I can go at a much quicker pace. But again, please stop me. If there's anything you question, just say stop. Everyone good? Before I continue on at hyperspeed, any questions, anyone?
Good.
Yeah. No questions? I can't see you, anyone, and I'm not looking at the chat.
All good. Moving on.
Okay, here we go. Hyperspeed.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next.
That's interesting. That has a unique quality.
Yeah.
I'm going to write down that number. Five shortlists so far.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies.
This is something I want all of you to pay attention to, the word of. A lot of people say, We're not only finding new sources of natural gas. It should be of. Try to get those F's in there for the word of. That was a little unique, but just a little stilted. I'm going to move on. I'm switching to our next page of auditions here. Takes a moment. Okay, here we go.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new.
Some nice voices, but nothing unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only...
The instructions said unique, different, recognizable.
At ConocoPhillips.
That had a bunch of blank space in the beginning. Already nothing grabs me. Nothing's unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips. At Conoco...
It's sort of interesting.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll put that one down on
Kind of
the list here.
sing-songy, which I don't expect from a man. I don't know.
It's a little different, though. That's what we're looking for.
That's true.
Yeah, now we have a short list of 6. And later on, I'll go through and pick someone. And plus one I want to listen to solo because of the slate.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding...
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting. I will add that one. Was that someone making noise thing? I'm not so sure about that.
Yes.
I was also not 100% sure, but to keep things moving along, I did add it. I have a marking system, but I don't have my check marks next to that one. It's there just as a backup.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of...
It's an interesting pronunciation of the client name. Just for our own ears, let's hear that back.
At ConocoPhillips,
I think the syllables are there, but some of them are rushed and just really rushed, so we're not hearing them.
Yeah, you're not hearing the second O.
Yeah.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only
Fast, low in level, nothing unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding...
A little choppy, a little forced at times. It wasn't terrible at all, but I don't think quite what we're looking for.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies.
Sexy is a different way to go for this. Playfully kind of sensual, but the level is really low. That makes it hard to bring on that person, so I'm moving on.
I thought I heard mouth noise as well.
Robert King.
Yeah, when it's low like that, there will be more noise. I just heard quite a bit of echo on this next one.
Then ConocoPhillips.
A lot of noise. We'll move right on.
At ConocoPhillips.
Oh, and I know that last person too. I want to tell them, if you're listening to this recording, let's talk. Yeah, a lot of noise in the background. Echo and noise. Two things you don't want.
We're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we are developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
I'm going to start getting a little more picky on some of these. Quite choppy. I like the voice in some ways, but it's too choppy. Connecting words together is so important, everyone. Oh, it's super important.
At Conoco...
Very loud. Lots of noise on my end. I heard it.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what-ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Yeah, I know who that is. And it's a nice read in some ways. A couple of words were a little slurred, and one word was like chopped off, I think.
It got weirdly robotic at the end.
Yeah, it's almost there. Not quite unique enough.
Erica Silver. At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural...
It's a little stilted, a little choppy. We're moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding...
Choppy. Maybe a very unique style, but just too choppy.
At ConocoPhillips.
Noisy recording. I want to hear more of that.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources.
Yeah, there's like a hiss in the back. And a little quite a bit of mouth noise.
At ConocoPhillips.
Client name is so fast. It would be, if we didn't know what this was, I don't think we would understand that. And if we put music in the background, there is no way we would understand that. And what that shows us is that is someone who's not thinking about it from the listener's perspective. And it's hard to hire someone who doesn't think about it from the listener's perspective. That's what this is all about.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new...
Same thing, name's a little fast. Sounds like an interesting read, though.
...sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what-ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Yeah.
That is interesting. That's unique. I'm putting it down.
That is unique.
Okay.
Terry Cleary.
Okay, sorry. I think from now on, we're going to say no slates. Just so this doesn't happen.
ConocoPhillips. At Conoco...
6 seconds in the audition now is finally happening. That is a long 6 seconds when we're trying to rush through things. 6 seconds is how much time we spend on many of these in full, much less we're still waiting for it to begin. So that's not a good thing to do.
Phillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
It's a little different. I will write that number down. See, now our short list is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I have 9 on the short list now. Whoa.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new...
Moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new...
Clear, super clear recording, but not unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of...
Another interesting pronunciation. Maybe that is the way it is somewhere. It could be. That we've had, I think, 3 people pronounce it that way.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies.
It's a little draggy. It's interesting, but a little too draggy, a little too forced to my ears.
At ConocoPhillips.
Noisy and low in level. Hard to hire that person.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of...
There's that pronunciation again. Just wasn't quite interesting enough. I know that we have some other people who have more unique styles, so we can move on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources.
That's certainly different. I think to my ears, it's a little too theatrical. Would that be the word? Too forced. Is anyone out there?
Yeah.
Oh, everyone's so quiet. I realized, oh my goodness.
I'd like to hear some more
I'd
of
like
that.
to hear some more of that too.
Yeah, I'll play some more of that. Yeah. Yeah, it's a little forced. And the
draggy.
instructions and draggy, yeah, slow and forced. The instructions said nothing salesy, nothing charactery. This sounds like it's starting to go charactery.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technology.
And it's 19 seconds. They're looking for 15.
It's super slow.
It is, yeah. Let's just round up and say it's 20 seconds. It is 19, but if it was 20, that means you've gone from 15 to 20, which is a 33% increase.
Yeah.
That's a big bunch different
Yeah.
in terms of speed. So yeah, we're moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only...
Nothing interesting. Good recording though.
Mark Harrington. At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
No,
We
cut.
turn what if?
Yeah, I think we have some other people who are a bit more unique than that. Now we're not looking for the most unique person. That is not the goal of this. It's looking for someone who is unique and also fulfills still a decent read that's not forced, that's smooth, and so on.
That
hits
made the company name into a question mark. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I've mentioned that twice. Yeah, that's usually not the best thing to do. Yeah, I think when we're done, we're getting near the done end of this, if that makes sense. We'll look at that script and I'll give you my thoughts on the script after hearing these people.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of
unnatural. We want that F and of natural.
At Conoco.
Very echoey, very noisy recording, low in level.
At Conoco.
They uploaded it twice.
At ConocoPhillips.
Lots of echo, salesy.
Yikes.
Really, that was the loudest, noisiest one yet. This is the same person again.
At ConocoPhillips.
Yeah. Okay, new person here.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
You know, I have to really question if that is a viable pronunciation of the name. I'm going to write that one down.
I don't believe it is.
You don't? whoever's saying they don't believe it is, are you? I don't. You can't go by I don't believe. You have to go by
I
I'm
know.
sure.
I looked it up, and
Look it
every
up internationally.
pronunciation that I heard was Conoco.
But are you looking it up only in the States, for
Yeah.
example? Yeah, look it up
Yeah.
internationally.
My friend that would pronounce it Amoko, he was from another country.
Yeah, yeah. So it could be different in a different country. We had like 10 people maybe or so pronounce it that way. So maybe that is viable. Maybe it's okay.
They're a U.S. corporation.
Yeah, but it
They're a
still could be
U.S.
pronounced
corporation.
differently. Yeah, but it still could be pronounced differently in different countries.
Yeah,
There
I
are,
guess
there
I
are,
was just thinking it was, yeah.
like there are French companies that the name is pronounced different in France than in the States. Car
Adidas
companies.
versus Adidas.
Adidas, great.
New sources of natural gas. We're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
It's a little too slow. I kind of like the voice though, and it's a good recording.
Shirtless.
Oh, that's a lot of noise on that one. Wow. Okay. I'm just moving on. That noise, that amount of noise could have stumped Zoom's algorithms to get rid of background noise.
At ConocoPhillips.
Oh, the client name is so fast. Oh my goodness, we move on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Interesting. Oh, I'm going to jot that one down.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding
Just not interesting, not special.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new...
It's a little salesy, and the instruction said, they did say not salesy.
At ConocoPhillips, we are not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Great voice, but definitely not interesting, not unique.
Probably slow.
At ConocoPhillips,
yeah, that was slow, yep.
We're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Not interesting.
At Conoco.
Lots of noise. Lots of, not noise, sorry. Lots of echo on that one.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
You hear a lot of people saying natural sources of natural gas as opposed to sources of. Just a little sloppy.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
Huh. I think his natural voice is a bit recognizable and unique. I don't think he has to do much to it. He's questionable, but I'm going to pass. But it sounded pretty good. I'm curious, what would you have put him on your short list or not?
Very close.
Yeah, it was very close. And you know, some people are watching this thinking, "Oh, I was so close. Oh, I was so close." And so we're well more than halfway through this. Real fast, super fast. Please speak out. Don't write this in the chat because I'm not looking at the chat. Call out what your takeaways are so far. What are you hearing things differently? New things, nothing new, all kinds of new things. What's your takeaway so far?
You've got a long list instead of a short list so far.
It's hard to define what's unique because each person is going to think, well, unique in voice, unique in style. You know what? So the definition of unique is very objective, I guess.
It sure is. I want to hear what you're hearing for yourself. What takeaway do you have that can help you do a better job auditioning?
I will be changing my lead time into every audition.
Possibly using lead-ins so that you slow down the beginning.
Yep.
Be careful with the client's name.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. How many people have lost because they've mispronounced the name, because they're choppy, because they rush the name, because they take too long to record? These are all the things you should be writing down so you don't forget. Or after being like, not forced, but after going through like an hour of this, hopefully it's like just engraved in your brain. You shouldn't have to write it down at this point. Okay, we carry on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what-ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Exactly, 15 seconds. I'm going to put him down.
I like that.
Yeah, I like that read too.
I did not. I felt like we'd heard a couple others like it.
Well, does that mean this is worse than the others? Or are you saying that some others that we heard like that we didn't necessarily, I didn't write down the number?
Yeah, I felt like there were others that had that same sort of style of entry into the script and I don't know, je ne sais quoi of the voice, like that kind of similar accent, similar, like it didn't strike me as unique. That's all.
Yeah, well, it could be that I heard something in others that were choppier, or a slur or something.
Yeah.
Somehow that one resonated with me for whatever reason. One thing that when we judge this contest, we really try hard to have at least one male and one female within the top 3. And sometimes we've had contests where all 3 are the same gender. It's happened a few times with men, more times with women. We've had quite a few contests where first, second, and third are women. And I really try to put a man in there. And when we've had the 3 men, I've really tried to get a woman in there, a woman's voice. Just because I don't want us to ever seem like we're favoring one gender or something else. And this today, it's really split. I'd say half the names I have on this list are male and half sound female, which is a nice thing when I judge the contest. Okay, just a few left here.
Ilene Echavarria. At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what-ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips. At ConocoPhillips...
She had 2 takes. I like that. I like that one quite a bit.
Good recording.
Good recording. Interesting voice. Interesting delivery. Very comfortable with her voice. Extremely comfortable. She spoke with no tension at all. I like that. And it felt I got better as she sounded better as she went through that audition.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new...
Good recording, but not unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're...
Sales. We did not want sales. It said no sales, no character. The noise. First thing I hear is noise.
At ConocoPhillips.
And echo. Ugh.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Nice voice, but not unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not
unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding...
Is it distorted?
It's distorted. Yeah. It's distorted. It just overmodulated. It's just, too much.
At ConocoPhillips.
Sounds like she's recording into a box. It's a very hollow sound, too much room.
At ConocoPhillips, we are...
The client name is so fast, I don't even know what he said, much less I know the name of the client.
Djibouti, 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 Djibouti.
What?
That's interesting. And it's coming out the left speaker, which means she has recorded a stereo file. And voiceover should always be mono. Everyone, record in mono. What that means is that you have one voice. You don't need a separate sound for the left and the right side. If you record in stereo, it's going to be identical because you only have one voice. There's one sound source. So to record in stereo is sending roughly two different recordings, one to the left, one to the right, which means your file size is twice the size. Have a mono signal. When any audio player plays a mono signal, it's split between the left and the right speakers anyway. It still comes out both speakers. This is weird. And I don't know what this Djibouti thing is in the beginning.
ConocoPhillips, we're not only...
And it's 1 minute and 7 seconds. All that scares me. I'm scared. Okay, I'm moving on. We need to hire someone we can trust. Which it's so important when we put a voice actor in front of a client, we have to have trust. Maybe that was it. No. Oh, there's a few left here.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Not quite different enough. We've heard some that are more different now.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding.
I think that business name, or the client name rather, was a bit slurred, I think. Moving on.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of
Clean recording, but not unique.
Mm-hmm.
Noisy. First thing I heard. And then some mouth noise.
At Conoco.
Yeah, I think we heard that person earlier. He may have uploaded a second time.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of
Client name is fast, nothing unique.
At ConocoPhillips.
Level is quite low.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
Too draggy.
It's slow.
Yeah.
Right.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new
So
sources.
there's that name again. The ConocoPhillips goes up at the end. At ConocoPhillips. Not loving that.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only.
This sounds like she's talking into the wrong side of the microphone. You may not hear that through Zoom, but there's a hollowness.
At ConocoPhillips.
Client name is fast. Listen back to the client name. If there's music in the background, you could not understand it.
At ConocoPhillips.
At ConocoPhillips.
Very low level.
At Conoco.
Noisy.
Here at ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding.
I don't think the script begins with here, does it?
No.
Oh, this one is not opening. This is interesting. I wonder why. Oh, there it
At
is.
ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing.
There's some reverb on that recording. He has a nice voice, but it's not interesting. And there's, with the reverb, we can move right on.
At ConocoPhillips.
Same thing, noise. So he uploaded 3. Let me skip the next one. It's probably the same. Blank. Oh, it was playing in a lot of reverb. Can you hear the reverb on that one?
Mm-hmm.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Yeah, not a great recording. Almost good quality, but a little low, a little far from the mic, a little distant. Not quite optimal.
At ConocoPhillips.
There he is again. So he uploaded twice.
We're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
I like the casualness of his voice. It's not quite unique enough, but nice and casual. Okay, we're just in the last stage of these.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of.
A little draggy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve.
I like the spirit in her voice, but it's a little too choppy for my liking. It's so important to connect words together. I don't know. A dramatic pause here and there is okay, but not so many of them.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas,
We're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
Good recording for the most part, but not really interesting, not really special.
Was there mouth noise in there
Yeah,
too?
there was. Yeah, good ears, whoever said that, yeah.
At ConocoPhillips.
Lots of reverb on that one. We move on.
At ConocoPhillips,
This one, it sounds distorted to me.
we're not only finding new sources.
Yeah, we may have heard that gentleman earlier.
At ConocoPhillips.
Very low in level.
Super quiet.
The reason that someone may come up a second time is that someone can enter the contest and wait a day or a week or whatever and enter again. We have 3 months, so it sounds like the 2 people ago, it sounds like he entered a second time at a later time.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're
He has a voice to be different, but the read wasn't different.
At ConocoPhillips.
Terrible quality. Started with a big inhale, then a sibilant sound, and yeah, not good.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas, we're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs.
That was one long sentence. I talk about people being too choppy. She was too unchoppy. We needed a break at some point.
Breath control. It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah. It was a little too much. I think we have 3 or 4 left here.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural.
I like the fluidness in her voice, but it's not unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources.
Yes, not unique.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not
Not unique. Noisy.
Ooh.
You heard the noise. Wow.
Yeah.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not.
We have reverb on that one.
At ConocoPhillips,
That client name is so fast. I'm playing that back again. Listen to the client name.
At ConocoPhillips,
It's hard to hear the syllables, and with music in the background, it'd be impossible to decipher.
At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources.
Not interesting.
At ConocoPhillips.
Yeah, there's someone did. They have echo on their voice and music, and we can move right on.
At ConocoPhillips, we not.
Okay, that one's for lowest level. Yeah.
Hi.
And noisy.
Nice.
And with the high, yeah. Okay. So we have quite a list of short lists. Quite a number of short lists. I have about probably 12 or 13 now on the short list. I'm going to come back on. I want to show that script here.
That's a little bit less than 10%, though. That's not bad.
I'm not sure if this is going to work. Let's see. I want all of you to see my screen. Oh, yeah, you see it now. Good. Okay. So let's talk about the script. We've gone through just about all of the auditions. There's one more page. It's kind of in a different area of our website, but there's a few more I'll go through later. But we got about 95% of them or so. Okay, let's look at the script and talk about it. After hearing what we've just gone through, let's talk about some key things. I'm a big believer in being clear on the client name. Look how the client writes this. They don't have a space between these names. So if someone has a space between those names, I think that is not necessarily the way to go. The client is pretty clear. It's one word. So with the right way to read that would be to put a bit of clarity on the C in the first word and a little bit of the F sound, Phillips, and the PH, to hit that Phillips, right? So to really sort of see two mountain peaks in that word, like you kind of clarify 2 words without pausing between them. Negative words are really important to hit in most voiceover applications. Not everyone, but most of the time when you have a negative word, it should be hit. An example I always use is something like, the at Verizon, we offer the unlimited talk and text plan, right? We offer the unlimited. Un is the negative word. Negative words are usually really important in voiceover. And so, to me, the word not is pretty important here, right? We're not only finding. It's a really key word there. What is the opposite of not? If we're not doing one thing, what is it that we are doing? We're not only... What is it?
Developing.
Yeah. We're not only doing this, we are developing. Keyword. In general, action verbs are great words in advertisements. When you read any audition, look at the action verbs. 99% of the time, they are the key words. So let's talk about some keywords, some action verbs here. Finding is an action verb. Let me yellow them for right now. Developing is a great action verb. What else?
Solve.
Great one. What else?
Demanding.
To solve the demanding increase.
Oh, no.
That's a descriptive word.
Yeah, you're right.
We
Turn.
can get the descriptive words. Turn, yeah. We turn, yes. We turn. Key word there. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Those are the action verbs. So when you read this script, those are generally the words you want to emphasize. Whether you're making the script reading it in a boring way or a hard sell way, the classic announcer, a sexy way, a funny way, a character, whatever. Usually you want to value the words which are action verbs. And the negative word I'll put into a different color. And descriptive words are usually very important also. So now let's talk about descriptive words. What are the descriptive words?
Natural.
We'll put descriptive words in blue. The new sources of natural gas, yes. Even though this company sells gas, it's more relevant, way more relevant that they sell natural gas. Natural is more important. Sources is great. They have sources, but it's more relevant that they have new sources. And it's one thing that they have, let's say, an increase in something. Well, it's great that they have global energy. That's great. They have global energy down. It's more relevant that they have an increase in global energy. It's even more relevant that there's a demanding, right? It's the demanding increase. That's the first descriptive word. That would be a keyword, right? The demanding increase in global energy needs. So those are the key words. This is a hard sentence right here. Like half the words, maybe even more, are to be valued, right? We're not only finding new sources of natural, and by the way, when you hit words, you don't have to nail them, but they just need that value. They need to be clear. Anyone want to try this? This one sentence right here?
Sure. At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural.
No, hang on. You glossed over finding.
Okay.
Finding new source.
Try again.
Sure. At ConocoPhillips, we're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Great. That time you hit finding really nicely, but you did not hit new. Here's what 2 times ago you hit new and not finding. I want to exaggerate what we heard. We heard, we're not only finding new sources. This last time you hit finding, but not new. Last time you said, we're not only finding new sources. Can you hit finding and new? What happens if you point on both words, right?
Sure.
We're not only finding new. We're not only finding new sources. Try that.
We're not only finding new sources of natural gas.
Yes. Keep going.
We're developing new technology.
Slow down. Put some gravitas on developing. We're developing.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, another descriptive word.
Mm.
We're developing new technologies. Try that.
We're developing new technologies to solve the demanding increase in global energy needs. We turn what ifs into what's next. ConocoPhillips.
Yes. By the way, directional words are great. Oh, they're fabulous words to emphasize. So that's like the word turn. It's kind of like, it's very similar to the word turn. I'll give it its own color. We'll even put turn into that color. So we turn what ifs into The words that kind of tell or give the direction to the listener are great words to emphasize. And that would be the word into. I need one other volunteer. Robert, thanks for that. One other volunteer to try this last sentence. Hitting turn and into. You know, the color is so dark. I can't read it. I'm going to make it a lighter color.
David, I wouldn't
Go
mind
for gray.
trying.
Sure. Let's hear it.
We turn what ifs into what's next.
I want you to put more emphasis on into. We turn what ifs into what's next.
We turn what ifs into what's next.
Yeah. And then can you make it a little bit less choppy? And read it with smile. We turn. Try that.
We turn what ifs into what's next.
Yes. That every time you've read it, it sounds better. I think your into is you're overhitting it a little bit.
Sure. Do you want me to do a fourth?
Well, you know what would be interesting is to try reading that script without the emphasis on into, and you'll hear it just kind of loses something. If you don't hit the word that is the directional word, the script really loses something. Try that without the emphasis on into.
We turn what ifs into what's next.
You still hit into. That was kind of a good into. Yeah. I'm looking to if you drop into like this, we turn what ifs into what's next.
Oh, like you almost swallow it. Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
So the
All right.
into is such a nice word. We turned it into what's next. It's a really nice word to emphasize. Always look for directional words in reads. Okay.
Thanks.
So here's what happens next. I'm going to listen through a couple more that we have in a different area of our website. Technical reason why it's not worth it, but there are like 10 more. So if anyone's watching this and you haven't heard yours, I will hear it. And then I'm going to choose a first, second, third place. And then I think within a day or so, they will be posted on our website. And you'll have the chance to go in and hear the first and second and third place winners. So I want to ask the question again. From when we began the actual audition process to now was just about an hour. So we accomplished what we set out to do. That was, we chatted for 20, 25 minutes up front. We did a bit of some talking now. We went through a lot of auditions in 1 hour. It can be done. What were your biggest takeaways? I asked this earlier. I didn't get that many answers. What are your biggest takeaways?
Well, I still think it's really important, as you've suggested so many times, that the beginning of the script is slow and clear enough to get the consumer used to your voice.
Yes. You hear it right here. You hear it like, boy, when someone talks, and especially when they say a word that we weren't expecting, it's really hard for us to hear that first word when someone would slate, for example. And to the audience, the first word of the script will be new because they're just at home watching TV and the new commercial comes on. So it is an unexpected word for them. So yeah, you need to really be clear on that first word. Any other takeaways or any questions? Or was this helpful? Everyone's very quiet. Was this interesting? Was it helpful? Was it boring? Let me know. Jay Jackson, you have your hand raised. You can just talk out loud.
I greatly appreciate this opportunity to actually sit in on how fast this is. I mean, this is very revealing. Also, looking at what's on your short list, it's not amazing. That's overstating it. It's interesting how many different and/or unique that we've listed are more with accent and/or international flavor, as opposed to this guy here who sounds pretty normal, what he thinks is normal, and pretty much vanilla.
Yeah, we interesting point. We definitely have some which are without accent. I don't think having an accent has led me to think one is more interesting than another. I've worked for so many years with international voice actors. So I don't think I don't think it led me to add to someone's, "Ooh, that's interesting," because of the accent. There are definitely quite a few with accents, but I think that this particular contest, we have more international voices than normal. So that just might be a reason why there are more international people in the shortlist. What I find really interesting is just listening to the first 2 seconds of the 179 auditions. the amount of variation. And in the very beginning, Robert, I think it was you. You said like, well, how do you make something different? We heard some people do it. We heard some people give some reads which would be recognizable. Not super recognizable, but some people definitely were recognizable. Any other takeaways, thoughts, questions, likes, dislikes? You're confused about something, something's more clear, anything? Any comments?
Well, I don't want to be a hog, but I have to say that also this last bit where you parsed out the script itself, that's very instructive to me because I don't do it often enough.
Good. Yeah, it's super important. We ran out of colors. It's so important. Okay. Is that really it for comments, anyone? Everyone? I'm going to stop sharing my screen so I can see all of you. Maybe all of you are sleeping? How many of you are sleeping? How many of you took a nap during this? Okay. I did not nap during this. Promise. Okay. So check the website in a day or two. We will have the top 3 listed. We should send out an email on that. But our email for the contest revealing the 3 winners and the prizes and everything, that probably won't go out for a week. So the winners will be posted in a day or two, but we don't have the review ready to go out in a week. And at that point, we will have a new contest up for another 3 months. Let me see. Oh, tomorrow we have a really interesting workshop at 1 p.m. Eastern. We have it's called the audition rehearsal session. And it's a really interesting topic. We're focusing on elevator pitches, which is not really voiceover, but it's something every voice actor needs. And I have heard some terrible elevator pitches over the years. And I thought that would be interesting. So that is 1 o'clock tomorrow. So if you want to join that, you can sign up for that. Okay, everyone. Well, thank you for your help.